away from the politics of insult, the politics of propaganda, the politics of lies, misinformation and disinformation. But it is sad to say this afternoon, say another person is also leading this same thing now. And again said, you moving to an arena of truth, an arena of what? Issues. Sanka de yeka ho asem wabre yakwa akoto aba no eye nokre ene de ewomuo enanke yeka asem. Now so somebody wants to drift us, and I say the person wants to sway us from that. And I speak of no other person than the running mate of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeh. This is a fine gentleman. He's been a minister before. Minister of Education, Minister of Energy. Enti Oyobia, one who says, Otensemase. And I said, he's well informed. Enti about issues are here dealing with when it comes to elections. He will stick to the fact. He will stick to the issues, not propaganda. But I'm sad this afternoon. Sir, over the weekend, Oko Bantama, the NPP, its parliamentary candidates, Asenso Boache, he held a massive walk in the Ashanti region. Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeh was invited, Mavis Hawa Kumsin, and other figures of the MPP. Now, when Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeh took the stage, and someone who do be or the two jano, they are factually incorrect. They are lies, and one would not expect that from Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeh, because he's a level-headed person. What the minister da, he's well read. In Tinsemi one more can, so who say Ghana for you are doing either in Ghana for we are also able to what decipher. We are discerning citizens. In two casemna, yansu yetia yenimku ebefaso afano. The issue of comprehensive sexuality education. I remember, sir, this issue became critical when Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeh was the Minister of Education. Nanka abambe sa yen curriculum no na enkwala ye chro made o school in totofe wafo no primary level no ye di behim kwan be fa so a chro mba ne be ma eda anase se oyo oba obema kwan na person oni oba da kwan be fa so aye no oyo oba na person oni oba so da kwan be fa so aye no. All this was part of that curriculum, and Ghanaians resisted it. Yen resisted it in the backfire, and then this particular introduction of curriculum was boycotted or was thrown somewhere. Following that, any benye ku omode mrakoto mrashebe jo omo say yen pass mra na afi proper sexual human then and ye famro man Ghana mu hanom. Now election time edu, we are 2 months away from the elections. So somebody believes, he said, this is an issue and sure you be use against onunti. So you see, we must begin to be responsible for the things that we do, the things we introduce, and the things that we speak about. Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeh, let's listen to him. Over the weekend, Ewa Bantoma Kumasi, the only two about comprehensive sexuality education. Let's listen to him.
So I say of the legacy, 4 years, can you answer that? 4 years. Emma, I have you over no okasere se ye bachi baby ye baje sikaya de nsokani.
Quality education has become a very important matter, particularly for the youth in our societies. Indeed, the changing societal context, characterized by the free flow of information, media pluralism, and the social media, has necessitated the need for education systems to provide accurate information of sexuality education. We in Ghana have a guideline that I've shared with you that we see it is imperative if this nation should develop that sexuality education should be part of the curricula that we will launch this year in September, all the way from kindergarten to senior high school.
So these are two videos of Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeh. One, just this Saturday over the weekend, Kumasi Bantama. The second one, Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeh suit was in 2017-2018 when he was the Minister of Education. When this same government, a Minister of Education, sought to introduce comprehensive sexuality education, and you listen to him, he made the point forcefully. Say, if this country is to develop, then comprehensive sexuality education should be allowed in our curriculum. And now backfire, Ghana for Nyantum, Intino, let me find somebody to blame it upon. So he goes back to say, Okujetua Blakwa in a pushy here. I'm not here to defend Okujetua Blakwa, but I'm here to speak about the facts. I'm here to speak to the issues. Under whose regime, and as our comprehensive sexuality education, you can't see they share in curriculum. Under whose regime? And the video is there. The evidence are also there. Ghana for enimbra nanka ye pese de share education curriculum a Ghana for so yin say omompene. After which ninti nei ye peja mrakoto mrahye bedwam a na sense ho no mampani so on sign no. We all know. We know the genesis of this issue. So when it's time for elections, then we have to gather some of these lies again and shove it down the throat of Ghanaians. Say Ghana for they are gullible, they are not discerning. In the end, some Tony Biam Meshemu Biam Kakani and baby. The days of lies in our body politics are over. Some men are the intro, propaganda, misinformation, disinformation. When it is time for elections, no, Saturdays today the people of Ghana are discerning. Today the people of Ghana know the issues. Like I always say, if Ghanaians feel say enyoma koyie in tomato MPP Ghana for ankasa asem. Say Ghanaians every say John Dramani Mahama so na say NDC eno betu me say bibia Ghana for ankasa asem. But we as journalists, it is our responsibility. So we will keep the citizenry informed. We inform, we educate, and we entertain. And when a former minister, under whose tenure comprehensive sexuality education was going to be introduced, Ghana for resisting here, and no other running mate. So he turns around and says that another person introduced it. That is a lie. That is falsehood. And it should not be allowed to go on. Equally, it doesn't matter where it's coming from. Say NDCO, say MPPO, CPPO, PNCO, a movement for change, new force. It doesn't matter. Ours is to educate the populace. Ours is to educate the citizenry. And so be in the face of evidence, we will expose the lies. Because evidence no harm. Let the Ghanaian put the issues before the people. Let the people themselves decide. Magana for Ghana who no mun decide because obia wa dwen obia wo tie sisu ibi. It is not an issue of lies. Why they can't rock us here? Why not just say or the propaganda ewura mu kese? And I'm sure say what the emrako enim akaka na election day do hono. You will see a lot of the lies. A lot of them. A lot of the lies. And it cuts across all the political spectrum. MPP, NDC, in 2016, the lead up to 2016. Na Bugri Nabu Abba or say John Mahama tried to bribe him. To date, evidence be a ma. In 2020, na and this one of a video be abba almost say John Nana Akufo-Addo is taking bribe. Meanwhile, that particular one, that video, will be an ordinary car to the campaign, but they were able to work and massage the audio. I am a journalist and I know these things. When politicians are lying, I know they are lying. I work. Me have voice over. Inti me so be a PC or slice it. Voice me hu me ti amete. Me hu. And that is what they all keep doing. They do elections MPP here, NDC here, Bugri Nabu here in 2016. Sa enso na NDC so here in 2020. And that's what they keep doing. That thing must stop. And like I keep saying, the days of lies in our body politics are over. It is over. Into all can was a man, but modern say, oh, can the oba over to me aye. The wire dada. I need to Ghana for everyone to Abamount. And ko yi be free baby, and baby, and control. Because we will be here to remind you that just last 2 years, or just before the last elections, you said this, and now this is what you are saying. We will give you the 2 bites, we will give you the 2 tapes, and you'll be exposed. This is my take this afternoon.
The show was a jar or bar anyone conquer dim.
The groom is sick.
What?
Malaria.
Malaria. Lufat.
Injija woman malaria enka won to them. Lufat, a malaria drop a.
And now you may kiss.
Entrance Pharmaceuticals and Research Center. And I Lufat. Lufat, a 2 malaria sententem.
Test for malaria before treatment. This advert is FDA approved.
Wa hwese wonua bi wodo ba bi obi oda wa akoma so adamfo bi okunu ana oyire a wayira atete ene ohawa obefam kwan ben so ena obefa eno nti ena atenka media village ena Samuel Amo Tobin Foundation edi dwumadi atundin se missing persons eha odofo na ayira odoba bi na ayira unua okunu yahwehwe ne mawa yenye uhwe New here and any picture, police extract. Now feed the akano bra. The young chahun for into a manzengwa so. We sika jebi enim, eye free. Yashisho odofo mawa, ye nye usika. Empo wa APA ube huo biya wa ira ode nebebano. Samuel Amo Tobin Foundation, ewa chedia edema useni pano. Enuntibra. Shanenso jumedi, eye Samuel Amo Tobin Foundation, enafa hukenyena. Missing persons, ubesang enya odofo bium, abeka wonsa. Frenama egu screen so, 0593. 853-284.
When you have a pending exam and you need to pass, what do? You
learn hard.
Pass the ball. Airball. And peg. Oh. And when your team scores that vital goal, what do? When you refuse to service your vehicle regularly, what happens? Now pay attention. When your head aches, don't endure the pain. Take Entramol because that is the responsible thing to do.
Take Entramol Entramol tablets for headaches and general body pains. Take Entramol Plus for migraine and tension headaches. Take Entramol D for headaches with cold, especially at night. Take Entramol Infant Suspension for fever and pains in children less than 6 years. And Entramol 6+ Suspension for children 6 years and above. Get speed, get smart with Entramol.
This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome back. You are still live on Atenka TV. This is the agenda, and I will share our Atenka TV. No, on Facebook, you can join the conversation. Facebook page, you know, Atenka TV Ghana. So now be on YouTube and also Atenka TV Ghana across all social media platforms. Now, if you go to me, the commentator on your can Ede Amanwo in the studio this afternoon. Mauli Agbenu, or no, a Greater Accra Regional Director. Emma NCCE National Commission for Civic Education and they honor becoming so I no more you be din komo afa NCC adwuma o man Ghana e je kwa kwato aba. So what are the issues then they say you den ni kwan say you dis ankomo nyina wa no Mr. Agbenu, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Akwa banso
Midase
say bibia aboko elections e ba so say dey edunu say anaf adwuma asore pan
ampa because one of the main projects and I'm one of the main work I hear with NCC, voter education. Okay. It's part of our main flagship programs that we do voter education and then education generally on the whole electoral process. And to say I do say I echo to the elections of course I will say because election although it's a peaceful process I'm from where D&M and now sometimes I do campaign period say we won't say normally fame to say misinformation, disinformation, any violence and now money in politics. I must say I'm for kuku goes through until it can bring violence. Okay. But there's a need for us to know that democracy abaya mrabai abaya bia I was say mindful citizens and the leaders are aware of the rules of the game so that we can have a good governance system in the whole country. So when we talk about democracy, I mean, it is a government that the people need to be educated and they need to know the principles.
A Greater Accra, I'm looking at how you've been carrying out this mandate of educating Ghanaians to understand their civic right and all that. How has the process been? How is it going in terms of educating Ghanaians?
Yeah, so normally we take the low-hanging fruits like churches. We go to churches, we do education in the churches, in the mosques. Sometimes we go to the marketplaces where we use the megaphones to preach to the people. We talk to them about that. We also go into the schools, especially try to capture the first-time voters, or more secondary schools, any universities no more. And these are the ways. Sometimes the street announcements, the radio programs, any TV programs. Say our friend is saying, any sometimes yet to make core communities, yet Jehovah Witness from door to door. They near my focus. Sometimes we to organize it deba. Okay. But now and to be a deba too much because of obvious reasons. Into community engagement.
Obvious reasons, it may be obvious to you, but not to some of us.
Okay, time of COVID, no buy. Who say, "Oh, the amount for be brave, okay. Until we meet people in smaller groups. Okay. And then sometimes to identifiable groups, associations, meetings are. Yet me call no they are strong no my 20 minutes 30 minutes here near man for akasa na almost come fear almost can and call for say we done for 1 year me say assemble the NCC a catch no what na say yes sir.
Okay. Yes. All right. Because we have barely 2 months to the December 7 elections. NCC, what is your reading into the political terrain of the country, particularly Greater Accra, because Greater Accra now, your reading of the atmosphere in Greater Accra as the elections draw close and everything.
Okay. So as you rightly said, as elections do, but no one says passions are getting higher. People are getting more agitated and anxious to make sure that their message is carried across. Say on one sem no, I'm for better on one sem no matter to about more. Of course, say a election now. In fact, election a process eligible citizens almost come together to kyerɛ ɔmo adwen after say obi mu ne ɔmo akasa say me meyɛ say na ɔmo say okay me meti hɔ no me feel say we asɛm a ɔka no ɛyɛ me de nti me kwa kɔto aba ama no ana me no ma adwen mu nyinaa no party we na me pɛ because of ɔmo ideology a foundational ideology a ɔmo de adwuma nti na me kwa kɔto aba but unim say sa ɔmo lose election ayɛ ɔmo ya nti no ɔmo make sure say ɔmo bɛyɛ bibia ɛbɛ make sure say ɔmo ana ɔmo win election no ɛba no sa na ade asɛm akɔba na say threats bi mu aba mu into the say no for Ghana say no even though for the past 30 years ya elections sa ya done amanfo kafu and say Ghana dey ɔmo elections no ɔmo ya dey ɔmo yɛ say but still say no wodi wani to ho ɔmo say threats bi mu wɔ hɔ one for instance money in politics amanfo per se ɔmo di sika the influence amanfo ɔmo to aba ɔmo yɛ ne saa na kyerɛ sɛ yɛ foa corruption so na yɛ ne saa so a kyerɛ sɛ yɛ mbu ɔman Ghana fo yɛ feel sɛ ɔmo betimi ayuzu ɔmo adwen sɛ asɛm a politician bi ka no ɛwɔ sɛ yɛde yɛ adwuma but rather no yɛde sika bɛ influence ɔmo ana yɛde ɛmo bɛ influence ɔmo ɛba no saa ɛnyɛ another thing so a ɛna wabɔ so earlier on say misinformation, disinformation and hate speech any your man ɛba no saa yɛ fa no disinformation ana kyerɛ sɛ nipa no wayɛ na adwen sɛ ɔpɛ sɛ ɔdeceive amanfo ɔma ɔmo information bia
ɛno no ɔwɔ saa intent na adwen no hɔ no
ɔwɔ adwen pɔ sɛ ɔpɛ sɛ amanfo ɔdwen differently nti no ɔma ɔmo information bia ɛbɛma ɔmo ayɛ biribi anka ɛnyɛ saa information ɔmo nyɛ saa but saa information no so na nya mpa ɛno kɔre bi anim but misinformation no obi say nti say me what say na wo sending me disinformation bia na me so ma send me nim say anya ntro but me so me dey sending me crop for say Barnard this money me jig Barnard di na me na chere say me ma misinform wo because me nim say ntro na watwa but me ma send ya de no and na ye ebi so wo ha ye friend no mal information eno no asem no eya no kware but wo dis asem no to dwa e dey asem beba nti ehia say wo di betu dwa ene ye mal information
asem ni no kware but the new kan say wo di to dwa
wo di betu dwa because wo di to dwa da asem beba nti no ho wo hwa asem no so ano
no kware so dey nka undimi fancy
nso woni say wuti baby a privilege anya asem bia na wo betimi ayi ato abonten because asem bi wo ho onti foundational reasons na say now this asem no to ho a na of can say
obetiki out of context
out of context na go dani asem ai ye wa another one so a ye friend no mid information na kire say e bia breaking news bi aba asem no e bia akọ amafo kan ho asem na but asem wo kan mo ti ase yiye obi aka ho asem as e kire ansa na ankware na sa ba but ntro no adi kind of that nti afi na obedi echi but amafo so who say ntro no ya amafo de chen ankware then no akọ and then you were hate speech and how do you call it this
propaganda
amafo hate speech no nipa no shut up the assembly ato so amafo ho pe na ho ye omo hi omo pe wa asem straight obi pe bu crap obect me aka say ukra obaye obibi because of asema bi aka kire into who the political parties no mo yes ya no man nyina just to make sure say omo followers no omo baji omo edi no makoto aba omo but here no ye my advice say as omanba uti asembia eye wasede say ube hwehwem say eyampa asem we amate no eyampa say nya no kware dia na wo so wa ye wa fa ho adwen say enya no kware nti no unua no beka je o asem we dia me gintu fatu baby ana say ni say san kware wo ho a na wo dia to ho amam afi no so ye call election we nu hu say for the first time in Ghana no say say no anya two flag bearers are Bakuye Christian, Bakuye Muslim in them two major parties. And yeah, first time I hear Muslim as a flag bearer, but for the major political parties are Omatina Bemudano. This is the first time. Inti ekobatu sa say obi person omudi religious intolerance vibra say
we sumo ha
but who say utuma yan because ye dog to chom unti no to my say ye pesa no man because ye nyina ye Ghana ha ye Ghana ma ye tena man mu ache ye nim say Ghana dey back to religious intolerance there me wo ha no me busia for Muslims wo Christians wo omo gu nsanso wo enti no me obia ye ji sana ye wo say ye tena say ye wo say man emfa religion no emfa nya adwuma luckily no sad no say akofom se say but political parties they won't imagine omu because omo adwin wo ho say bibia obeye bia obenya power no
obenya do mre so o spin fa ho no na obeye
but yen citizens no I will say prove say we are wise, we are discerning, we are able to identify truth from lies and to know that no, what this person is saying is not true. Then we have what is also called the electoral violence. Debenedi electoral violence. No?
Okay.
So there we go into the do's and don'ts of a citizen.
Okay.
But ansana mbeko ho nyina no pese meka asem kakra bi say election no say beye na beye peaceful na asem bi amba there I will say credible. So what is a credible election?
In fact, what na maybe, but once we're taking into our mono, you can say credible election is a need your way.
Yeah. So credible election, no, any election a free, fair, transparent.
Okay.
Obia ewo hu djuma bi ye no. Ana obia oye bibi free mu no. Or fan wa dream say clean.
Okay.
Obi ntu on ka say omo ye election no, me ma dream ndi man fan yi. E wo so obia hu say eye clear and adebe na ebe hu e wo electoral cycle obi aba hu say you satisfy all the demands of that particular electoral cycle obi mu won 4 stage cycle bi won 6 stage cycle by year wo NCC you know 8 stage cycle.
Okay.
The first one is the legal framework.
Okay.
We have to look at it.
In your man sanyo mani na dead na kwema na because elections near credible.
Yes.
Into mumu hwe in your mama ku 8. Legal framework emra. Okay.
Until the constitution we no more. Uko article 42 e ka say Ghana mabia wadi 18 years and above no. Wo kwan say wa dream da ho a wo kwan say ubeto aba.
Okay.
Uko article 55 so e ka say Ghana mabia owo ho no. Wo right to join a political party.
Okay.
A political party of your choice. Intino eno de ewo ho. Mra no ahihye ewo ho electoral commission mra wo ho political parties mra wo ho mra no nyina ya giatum say mra no eye ye be adwuma after that no ewo say ye planning.
Okay.
Eno de ewo electoral commission ho planning no ono be ka say okay afi we mu no me the calendar we ba by this time no may say by this time may say by this time may say by this time may say na obi a ewo ho dwuma bi say obeyo no ono so afa ho adwen say oh meaning say around this time no be registration into no me semetu kwan krapo a maintenance me nya registration na sana me to kwan.
Okay.
Ana semetu kwan me nya ntem me kombra na me be me registration nti no on be yes a hyehyere nyina to no mo de calendar no aba.
Okay.
After that no on be educate obia about it. Say na ye be ye wo Ghana no say ye wo ekuo bi ho ye friend no inter party advisory committee electoral commission any political party IPAC nti no be ko omni ombe kasa say oh say ni na ebeye nti ebeye training na ombe ye no ombe fa officials a ombe ye election no adwuma nyina ombe training omo political parties na kasa no so ombe ye training ama omo so ombe ye training ama omo crofo NCC so yenso ebeye training ama your crofo observers nyina aba ye training ama omo crofo na ye hu say yes say na bibia ekoso nti ye planning ni wie sa now it's time for voter registration.
Okay.
I feel there was a voter register.
Yeah.
Register no. And in some way stages now make and you say you stage back on cost stage back on stage back.
Concurrently.
Let me call it. Yeah. Some say reiterative. You bet me call about it. Won't say registration assembly. Say you rack campaign, but still you can't registration.
Yeah. Some of
can't register one say. I was say even though you are year exhibition but still you can't exhibition one say.
Okay.
In this after registration. Na fe ya rura campaign period. Campaign period no political parties no nyina won kwan say omeba ba ka asem akire amanfo say oh me ba me say amamo me say amamo nti me no say na me gidi say e wo say amanfo eye no wa ye the campaign the message aba obeye float obi mbesa obi mbetu nyom obi beye bibia obema say citizens nyina o me ni beji say okay me my father say me call political party we ho. After that no after they call into the election day itself. After election day operations, then post election declaration of results, and then post election activities. Nature say post election activities obi we say results no me jintum
into the court.
Into the court. that is democracy.
Okay.
And yes, sir, usi wonje to mute ko kunto kwa debi. And yes, sir, uko court nso be giafa. Say, oh, my hwehwem. Okay, where the yesi odi no. Ono na wini e. The one winning no into mufa no sir. So that is the stages. Okay. Of it. It was say obiafa. But apart from the stages no so ye wo nyoma bi mo ye be hu say electoral process no na. Back when say it was say competitive. Next say obia why na political party bia why ni yem say opese obe sumo man no. Also onya the clear playing ground. Okay, level playing field. Okay. Equal grounds. Ukaya 1993 ye election no. MPP the NPP court. Yeah. Say GBC for omuma NDC for quite more GBC more coverage. NDC NPP for into court no rule here say every state media no was say we making sure say all political parties equal opportunity. Okay. And now apart from the state media, but who say even private media no musu muye nsa. Yeah. The standard has been set already. The standard has been set. In the but so obi was be no person talk more time there and they're different. Okay. But there was say unya threshold be say political party bia wa register there say usu be ye we no. Ubanya kwan say uba kasa manfo. Apart from that, it was say air transparent. It was transparent ni say ye di mra to ho say de be adwuma e wo say obi anim mra no. Okay. Enye say aye mra na me de ahye bi kodoko me kwa na me ni mra no. Okuya bia na say ye ma chew. Enye sa ye nyina e wo say obi ahu mra no say mra no say na eti. E na ye bibia ye nim say ade bia ye no according to the mra no. Enye say wo ye bibi na ye ntiase. Say ye ntiase so a e wo say wo ye anuman and accountability. In the accountability no e wo more to the electoral management body. Okay, that's the electoral commission. The electoral commission. Say obi mu ti bibi mu ase o say oyi mu fan etrom. O dan na obi atumiti as a transparency. Accountability no. So obi say I say I didn't call me pen no. Obi yi anu ama say oh say ni say na ba. No adwe ho. Say recently crapo no. NDC by say bibi aba wo electoral commission say last voter registered last Thursday from and no live coverage so obi ahu ye kasa ehu sa obi atie obi afa ho adwen sese no ye koye nim nti ye yue na ye the register no to ho a obi agitum say oh register no de ye papa. Apart from that too no it was say inclusive na kire say enye say be ka say ya dey 40 years and above nkwa na ebe ye. The youth must also be part of it. Okay. Obi office also a part of it. Ufri east. Where is Etifi? Epuye ana toye ana bibiano. Ye nyina ye ka ho. Omo ye tintin, omo ye tietia, akanfo, ewefo, stremfo. And excuse me, say people with disability, everybody must have equal opportunity to participate in it. In this election, the corners are actually say a credible election. Okay. Yes. So Moshe legal framework no afi accountability, transparency, inclusiveness. Yes. So bia e kan ho ebi no competitiveness. Good. It is animal we na kan bo then we can see say the elections are credible. Okay. So see with 2 months into the elections, I'm sure NCC you've observed the terrain when the air course. Are we on course to having a credible elections this year? Oh yes. We are on course to having a credible election this year. Mind you, yeah, we 8 times. Okay. Where the 9th time. Inti enya dia ye nim ye. Yeah, no 8 times. Yeah, this government 3 times. And yes, sir. And according to Samuel Huntington, it's a democracy. Musisa abide from one political party to the next political party 2 times. I just said democracy we are consolidating. Let's just say yeah, crap we are past our stage no. Okay. Until we are going to real consolidation this year. Until no, there be a cost no, the cost ye. But a human institution. Yeah, nipa yeah nyame. Until definitely yeah be a mistake a crab be bahu. Until accountability side no what say. Say who say be being cost we are. Now why you did it? Na I say oh how call ye okay ye be ye na say but ye na ye no enye say obi abeso say eh aha ye me ya o na wakoso wo so say aha me ya no wakoso enye sa obi abeda ne say how will I put it English form or proverb you say let the dog wag the tail not the tail to wag the dog. Okay. Na say electoral management body no e was on him say ade a oye no onimadia oye enye se obi a na be kire no kwan se ye ne se nti na ye ne se eye independent electoral body. Being independent so no kire se uye nyame wo wa wo
your lord unto yourself
debi e wo se utie no adwe ho se oh say amanfo no me ye ba ne den na obi atumchi say 7 December say yakwa obi akoma mu dem fa say adwuma yakwa akoye no dem fa it is correct into yes there are some issues but it will be addressed.
Okay, but me share mo adwuma as NCC educating Ghanaians on our civic rights and this process electioneering process ni the ekoso nyina na you have to play a cardinal role, you play a cardinal role in that. My question is, how well are you involved when it comes to electoral commission meeting up with stakeholders and all that? How well is the NCC involved in all these discourse?
We are involved as a stakeholder, as part of IPAC.
Okay.
But I said yes, you better electoral commission say you will juma say. Mind you, yes, we are independent body. Yes, we are juma ye. Ye didn't say ye tre a man for say obey or my bapa.
Okay.
And our man bapa no nya but one kwana ye o man bapa. O man bapa was say obe to tax. Ube share with environment. Say you correct. Ube making sure say you as a citizen you are law abiding. So it goes beyond voter education.
Okay.
No ma be but voter education so e kan juma ho a into no no sir ye confidence say electoral commission be the right thing because no be no many times and na and yes or mechanism sometimes tree no ambassador but the electoral commission cannot just act by itself. It acts according to the rules and regulations that is guiding it. There is an act, there are laws and it acts within these laws. So we are confident that there will be a credible election this year.
Okay. All right. Have you benchmarks and so now explain and so on.
Okay. Like say about Canada.
Okay.
Like
so the benchmarks where the 8 things are now over.
No, the 8 things now and the electoral cycle.
Okay.
The benchmarks no year competitiveness,
okay,
inclusivity, transparency, and then accountability.
Okay. All right. Then let's look at the do's and don'ts. Yes. Into me as a citizen. Now, but we drew Hornomo, then SMA, then any crime SMA.
Good. Into as a citizen, who say, Macano say electoral election or a cycle, a free time be or cycles be go through. Into as a citizen, you was said yes, unya information. In this NCC, ye announcement be was unity. So electoral commission ye announcement be was unity. Wagasaki kind. Na who say na election no te na that say who kan ube hu say nyoma bi mu wo ho a e wo say ubetimi aye nyoma bi mu wo so a untimi ye. Mind you, make I say democracy the only system of government e wo say ye kire o man ba no say a ye ko hu kwan because there were rules and regulations.
Yeah.
Intino one say do registration time. Now you see obia be register say general registration na say yes it's register no completely you be first obia mbra na be register ye fufo.
Okay.
But say you see limited registration as a citizen so we voter ID card dada wa register and here say we call
bi
nti omo that I feel more than 18 years and now obi wo ho a why 40 years but why na do all along say person we to aba but this time was and say okay this time to aba it was a career registration so you avail yourself but you can't register twice.
Okay.
You cannot register if you are below 18 years and na untimi register unya Ghana ni and who Ghana ni so untimi ko fa obi a onya Ghana ni say who di nanim on be register is an offense.
Okay.
And now say who ko fa kora onya di 18 years so on be register is an offense although ya passa period because registration no answer.
Registration.
Registration. Say no your campaign period.
Okay.
Until woman require make come more about campaign period.
Okay.
Good.
All right. Until ya share citizens know what they shouldn't do. But campaign period what are the do's and then the don'ts? You can go ahead.
So campaign period. Obia wo ho a even though me or NCC but me to aba.
Okay.
But me ni political party BM. But da ye beto aba no me kwa to aba eno de wo ma
maybe I beto aba na kwa na wa so. Okay.
Sana obia e wo say gise who ye party member who all right say who party koye campaigner who be di echi.
Okay.
But who did you know? Men call ye hooliganism. Men call ye a man for say, and then my shabby party colors into your doors until who five baby one will be a no why ye pano. You're wrong. Who belong, who ye member of another political party. Now one who say party B, omu ye campaign wa. Who near kuma men go foul.
Okay.
Foul quine neko foul be fufro. Neko. Men ko share u political party color bi. Yes, ye fan say MPP for ye campaign wa. No who ko share u NDC atare na wo betwem wo ho. Wo twem wo ha wo pentokwa.
It's a freedom of movement into your freedom of movement. Or sa right ni so no so be support party bi. And so onu so twem na so mo so mo yam de san kan ne nke obiga sense ehwe.
Oh, ayampa. Bet atare a wo share no. Enu kwa na ya atare a wo share. But me share wo tare ordinary dress. No we be twem akọ. Bet wo share wo party dress. Na we say ko bi obi wo ka say hwewe na e bia o ka sen bi na eye o ya.
It's provocative.
Provocative, that's the word.
Okay.
Me nim say American wo tree no. E we say who jiji ntokwa.
Okay.
Nti no men ko fa ho.
Okay.
E kwan foforo wo ho a ko fa ho ne ko. E na unim say party we omo office wo ha. Na who ye o campaign, who ye float. Wa sheda ko fa name ho, wo do anim ho afi da won ko biom. Wo be bodrom wo ho saa, wo be sa wo ho saa, ne nyina wo jiji ntokwa. Enye fa kwan foforo. Na yenye because democracy omo ni ebie na e call democracy. So we dey bia dey anti na wo pentokwa ako. Wo pesa ma foti asema wo kana wo ko kire say we kokotako. Wo nim say ya ku ntokwa. Wa adwen kire e na be ma amafo beto aba no amawo. Ana nye sa. Then apart from that also no campaign time no obi born in wa ha. Who person we your campaign now call the other side of the town when your campaign. But the best we who are police for us so go give permitter on him say one party be ya on man kwan say usu be yes ada na obekọ court aka say because of the other party campaign now omu ye wa no ye mpini say we be wa no one ma different date omu different date no so a e was say ujitum intino as on my ba no campaign period no your campaign men ko jiji obi a and ya can misinformation disinformation who asem to say to say no ya bibia aye problem pa because of internet first no na nye problem sir because one tier radio one kind of news ma and this traditional radio and news no mo try trust her but I said obetini phone chi unnim no no push bibia ma obi su account no kwapo different no push as a citizen no men yes sir men ka say obi say obi musu hear voice over obi can send me 2016 no wa sheda akọ twikino na wa sendi udi jiji amanfo obi wo ho a onni adwenu se obedwi ho ansana o de be yaduma
ibu ho no mo ye gullible
o ye gullible ojia pim no wa pushi obi so ho onni akoma ohun peda na ebuefu na akoda na bibi fufuro intino unya information bi wo phone so a campaign message na bibia so won say enye fine no hwehwem ansana obayi at war as a campaign, as a citizen.
Okay. Yeah. So before we get into the election day itself, and the do's and then the don'ts, you know.
Yes.
But say you share a tolerance.
Yes.
Because the year can say be a who say party we and the campaign will hand me shut down ko provoke you, then ko fast and all that, no. In the middle or at the center of that, and see a tolerance, say, see, to say Ghana for nowhere democratic process there. And come between your audio, I miss between your hand. What kind of tolerance, say, in this electioneering process, no, say, ubienya as citizen?
Good. So I will say tolerate opposing views.
Okay.
And viewer who gentleman will say, who fast say, oh, ubia were right, as they say. Opinions are like noses. Everybody has one. And you know, so the awujit tum obiso njintuma enye ntokwa.
Okay.
Voting do no kotre wagin. Ono so kotre no adwen. Then who say when adwen na ebeko forward. Enya patience ma obia manika nansem. And na wo so no me kotwa ntro ento obiso. And me koka asem hunu bi ento obiso a ebema amanfo be heti obi. On say Ghana no a diverse country and there is strength in diversity. But that diversity into a better media asema man. Culture be more bibi wo ho no enye problem. But in another culture no so no a problem. Into no as citizens no yenji say yenyina yenye nipa baako. So let us be tolerant of each other's cultures and all that and the religion. Who say yenu mu bia okay person be bo area no. Okay. Obi hu the name you be free different town now. Or friend say I am a slave. Okay. Omo ti ase. Omo ye omo ade sa. Unkan ho make oye bi because unti ase ade ti a or
the genesis of that
the genesis of that unti ase. Onu wu kan ebe ye nipa no bufu. Okay. But onu a ode ni dia brother that kan enye bufu ma no. Into no mego kasa asem di wule nu ne koye wa grow. So let us be tolerant of each other's dissenting views, even the development of the country. Obia won adwin say ye fa kwan we so a ene na be ma Ghana be ye fine ye fa ha obia na adwin the important is say dia obeji mra no the obeji power no ato ne nsem na ode adwuma. That is what is important. Okay,
all right. Well understood. I think you on the election day, so then me citizen and as a voter, I mean so as a mayor, any day you can say me as I'm from.
Very good. So on voting day, as a citizen, you have a right to vote once. Okay. And on voting day, no, Ghana Mrachre say 24 hours to election, no more campaign. Okay. Political party be anya campaign. Ade bechime yakwa to aba enu kan so obi anya campaign. E be kwa to aba ochina enne no obi anya campaign. Obi anya campaign. Into no wo so menye campaign. Menye campaign. And but oni wadafo o mamutifie. Obetumi aka chere say oh wo awnim say na me kwa no dey wo fie no but menpie say who your campaign is a tia mra.
There are many who are aware of this but don't know what actually informed that decision. Say a day before now 24 hours to the elections may your campaign. Is there a reason?
It's mischief. Okay. It's mischief. And obi so ho nim say so say Ghana so a dozen check police for. The police for no money baby into no on so on the corner obetimi aka. But they say no drones are all over. Phones are all over. Obi betimi capture our phones no they are ma na ya cho. Into no don't do that. Into no campaign the men share ataria e belong to party. And now colleagues be a becture say who party we mu. E bia atare no uto store enye party atare. But colleagues no ye party
semblance view.
Semblance view. Men share. Okay. Men share. Share atare a actually say we are neutral. Who kai hu am politicians na kasan leaders MPs no PCs no eno mu nyina omo share mostly omo share white. White dey obi a color. Yeah. Who's voting day? Most of them no. Share white. They are no share trouser blue and green and red and anything. But top no say share white also. But we bet me share any color. But don't make sure the color combinations no. And coach be I share colors be a coach say yeah total this.
Obi one wash blue na white kakra na red kakra baby hu. The obi so no so akoshe green black and white kakra baby. Okay.
Ben yes sir. And na udu ho so a comport you. Men ko do ho na eh hu we na wa fe no eh Charlie I say no.
Wana uko.
Men yes sir. Adwen adi e ko kira adwen. Nti udu ho a cool wo lane wo line mu na wakoto aba na wakofie ukofie so aye to aba ni wie a upea na waba but uba so a make sure say cordon off area no mentra ubegina akiri ugina akiri a menye dede me ya county wie a men ka say me nipa wini me pa no me wini wo wini menye sa. Okay. And na men prevent obi asemani vote on election day. Men prevent obia semani voting.
Be say legitimately nipa na bia any kwan so ho no to aba anase omahu si akwa ba se nkrofo free baby na ba. I'm sure say these things you hear them on election day. Yes. Say we want to abo hanso akwa for mu de omaba be gu hanu so ma meto aba. So good. Legitimately can't you deny them or stop them?
You can't stop them physically. You have to report to the appropriate authority, to the presiding officer and to the police security man. If they are presiding officer no why busy why juma no catch security man who say oh we na man that's all why you wait juma you men fan to same say me kind of police na anya hwe ntimi me koya bibi wo mu uko pet kwa no so but hopefully no after say ya year registration ya year exhibition ye be second exhibition on voting day no obia be ba say obeto aba no definitely you sure say obaye obia or legitimate voter. Okay. Because ya yi saa crofo no a
so omni kwan so mudin
voter register by that time na register no aye kama until obi obeba ho no manu kwan say on vote but if suspected this report to the appropriate authority and leave it for them to deal with it. Don't take the law into your hand because unye police ni we are citizen wa said any say uko vote uko kire wa adwen na wako enti no say wo queue no mu a we say don't men di the audio enim directly manu space kakra maniko ogini first of all be checking it in or checking it in here obeko yebe manu indelible ink kakra won in sakito anu na wa call akoshe ballot box no ballot paper no na di amanu obe fold no in a way no they are now who call inside now who say bia time we had who say sometimes ye indelible ink na sana obedo ho na indelible ink no enya nwo enwo ye na say paper no who say who right obe back and now who call inside now who vote na who say oh say me vote here no and call ye enya papa who bet me aba back and we spoiled ballot now the abema officer no say me ballot no mpacho ma say no ije mu sisa ma fufuro obeji now are recording or there are two baby now I'm off for
but when that is being done say agent on me obi aware
agents no nyina wo omo nyina mo ya aware say wa go say ballot no but e bia electoral officer no enye ni asede say obe ya kire say a wo say no but waje ato say spoiled ballot place wo mo di beto now waje fufuro uji for this time now we say we are very careful now call now make sure say what team ye wa vote we're folding it neatly, now they are shame. That's for the parliamentary candidate. You repeat the same thing for the presidential also. We are now Africa Ukofi. That's all.
After the elections and so and also what shouldn't I do and what should I do?
Good. As a citizen, stay glued to your TV, stay glued to your radio. Don't go to the police station. It is not a law. Don't go to the police station because already political parties no more agents were candidates be our agent or share be but who person who call her who betimi akọ who do her who begina baby ya mamu kwan say munjina na who hwe enya we djuma say we try obi say na ye djuma no wo there be unya accreditation untimi nra cordoned off area no omo obetimi ara cordoned off area no omo a electoral commission ama omo accreditation bibi say omo kon ana regional director for electoral commission ana electoral officer for the district for obetimi akọ electoral chairman electoral commission chairman obetimi akọ ana commission members ana penyi bi offering crime but asana no crap be ba ho no be say tag no wo ni kon uni tag a menwura ura ho a police be deal with you on be chill it's an offense ena say obi wini a enye sese na wo kwa kosere obi say wedding kugu say ya wini mumwa maluzu u yeso a ujije nipa no be den tokwa baba because maka say democracy no is a government for educated people. When I say educated people, just omo amako school omo a ya kire omo democracy hu ejuma
those who are informed
in the election on the ejuma ni democracy no say ni na ye no for make sure say who follow samra no say who lose no problem another 4 years wo wo nipa no be wini so who so wini a enya say na wo kwakọ sa asaboni bia e dey asem bi beba because whether who wini or who win ye nyina ye Ghana for political parties ni nyina party bia ni ho a on pese Ghana be ko nanim omo nyina omo pe Ghana yie nti na omo tie say omo be gi government na omo afem nti no we win a ye hwe no who criticism there during the governance no you can do all that and then you wait for the next election and for your better luck.
This particular election is one we see the stakes are very high.
Yes.
And I'm sure you've heard the politicians say vigilance are feed so many that we also cancel the answer many other and all that. So when you hear all these comments from some of the politicians or from the politicians themselves urging their supporters say utu wi enkofi gina honomo hwese ye bekin kan abani nyina wi wo results na ansan wakofie. And then the advice you are also giving us, NCC, how does it make your work difficult and how do you navigate all that?
The good thing is one can say, or say, they making sure say you're winning. ɔsi gyina hɔ n'ehwɛ fine wobɛtumi agyina hɔ n'ehwɛ but don't cause any problem and don't go beyond the cordoned off area stay behind the cordoned off area ɛhɔ na ɛwɔ sɛ wotina bibi ekɔ so wɔ hɔ a agents no wɔ hɔ a ɔmo hwɛ gani say a ɔmo yɛ election no mi refi bibi kakra uji ballot paper no so a hwɛ kyerɛ no say ɔmo certify no ana ya stamp no ana electoral commission stamp ɛwɔ so ɔmo certify no ɛwɔ kyerɛ ansa na wobɛkɔ akɔyɛ wobɛkɔ to aba no into no so even though you be catch you say brahon one can say brahon never put to be vigilant Ghana say ya stay vigilant no obi tie vigilant let say be akoko ntokwa vigilant me say making sure say bibia e wo say omoye no ye ne yie e bia electoral officer no oye mistake akra now what did that dream so say oh boss let me say aha no one ye ne yie nti ye ne yie kakra but me so no say nipa beti ase say oh asem o kan na because nipa dey can say it me hear mistakes into mistakes you can point it out but you cannot insist say the awu kan e wo say oyema wo uri yes na udi ntokwa na beba
okay all right so you are still live on Atinka TV the agenda na wo hwe no ye gina we su na afi atonkra ye ba the conversation will continue ene mene ni din e shade kon do me se me bo mauli agbenu ena ni edi enkomo ono ifri NCCE director Greater Accra region hanumo after this break we'll continue the discussion. Stay with us.
From Kobna Fofo, Juma me an thing, your mates, the chasing passengers, still to me, Jerry Muche, a to do so, no more do not me peja, Namu Fion, Namunam me so palmy, no be trim, Ibu plus, Ibu rest painkillers, fire, when I'm young nan Payano, a free so. Even me, I'm a boss, understand me, I did driving, and so transit chair when I'm yow, listen, see. No to me now offer Ibu plus to say of fire no what young kwa na yaka owner young girl a young office or transit chinti the bia or sinan muya ne ya the city now offer Ibu plus and tunam ya na say
Rest the pain with Iburex or door the pain with Ibudor painkillers.
This advert is FDA approved.
Wash baby papa bi adi udwuma bi ana enhyiemu kase bi aponto ehene na wo de fa enha wo hu sika ho ehaso etre ebai Atinka Media Village efikasi animu Kwame Nkrumah Circle Achimota kwankasi no ye wo nsa benkum so hwa Aveno Junction Sika Hall ya tuen boss yesiesie hayi dwumadie bia be kofia ha enipa bebra hanum ene akire over 500 people emagim kunya papa bintina so enuntin sorry emebunu ku ahodo enum akuakuo aban panimfo obi bia ope venue edia ni program Sika Hall da hall chen eya fra matrufo yi 0540 116 911 anase 0242 82 65 05 Sika Hall a special event center ye bia mubia
Yazabo, Yazalante, Zizi, or your Kings Drive Ghana Limited, and your property, and your taxi driver, another trotro driver, and for the one customer Kawakala, now your car owner, on the more day yana there, as the wood driver's license, never your true guarantors, after not deposit 10%, nine I your car owner, official today, you're more free comprehensive insurance, open the payment to sir, or you're flexible, about Tobas near Chenica Cranka, and you how cry, trotro taxi driver's way, even car no pay, Yawahunda, Toyota, Daewoo, Nissan, Sprint scooter, Kia, Shade car bia you and motorbike and a tricycle, small tractor, Aboso Kamacho mighty, Kia truck, you want in Nara, for one track, your head office, our cars one, old timers, off Castle Bojasi Road, Koforidia branch, Zoom Highway, your Benfidiasi, traffic light, Asamankasa branch, you know oil filling station, Accra Road, in Sawan branch, your National Health Service, Adwaju, Kaswa branch, opposite old ECG, off Kaswa Union Road, Kumasi branch, Adjoso, Amasaman branch, Satellite Junction, off Accra Sawan Road, Somenya branch, opposite main lorry station, and now friend
0545 256 895, and now say 0543 753 629.
Kings Drive Ghana Limited, hard work rewards.
Welcome back. You are still live on Atinka TV. The agenda and our still in the studio this afternoon. Mauli Agbenu, you know, Greater Accra Regional Director of NCC, National Commission for Civic Education. Share the do's and don'ts as we inch closer to the 2024 elections. And to what a credible election is. Benchmarks are who the issue in our bubble so at their mind. The SLO citizen the answer before, during and after the elections and sana yeko break. Now, Adeba Kwame Pese or Buena fi Ghana for ultimate the issue of sport ballot and then rejected ballot, because I don't know idea about Ghana for now on election day no nipa don't to me papa. So on that particular issue of sport and then rejected ballot, what's the difference?
Thank you very much. So say kase ballot has been rejected. Next say ballot no nipa no aye idea and say obeye or the akoto ballot box no. Okay. Abepie wo counting table nso. But sport ballot no say American first no say udu booth no na one say why a mistake e bia u vote e na ink no akọ paper
akosi candidate me nu krampo
akosi candidate me nu ana point B ana yentimi hu say a wo choice na ye no wo kwan say wo di be call back akoma electoral officer no e wo ho na wa ma fresh one wo di be call work of vote. Okay. But who are inside the booth now who ye mistake. Now who name say why a mistake. And now who they call two ballot box no. Every pay time I counting no. And we be rejected because and yet correct me who dia vote man into that is a rejected ballot. So the difference is that the rejected ballot is the ballot that the sport ballot that has found its way into the ballot box and was rejected upon counting. Then the sport ballot is what Nipa no say and now what they are say enye biom. Okay. Ombeji ato.
And the sport ballot no, I don't know who you mistake na. Oko and also my mistake my am from Subi into no moment for and near the beton chain and it will be recorded as sport ballot. Yes, it will be recorded. But so you mistake no one can go for now the question box ni mu e dia and you be rejected cry yen kan ho so. Okay.
Sport ballot so yen kan
okay. All right. That's good. Afi yen hwe Greater Accra hanom ankasa wo ye peni wa hanom no. Elections no, in fact previous ones you take in Zimbabwe, and I'm sure you know of some of the hotspots. Where are some of the areas more identified as hotspots in the Greater Accra region, and what kind of training and sensitization and what the man for one?
May I be brief for the question. First of all, sometimes say my area be a dimbi say I have no hotspot. They tend to live up to that expectation. Okay. Say oh yeah bad into the better we say hey bad.
Give a dog a bag name and hang it.
In the me pay side and say okay my body no but your name police for no small name. But generally no ye wo bibia ye nso ye friend no inter-party dialogue committee IPDC. Okay. NCC na ye. Sa inter-party dialogue committee no a platform ana Kobia political parties war traditional authority wom faith-based organizations wom opinion leaders district no nyina wom electoral commission war shraj war CSOs are sorry for any amafo dunyam war krom omo sa group no in the IPDC we no NCC in a form here for the political parties and other group dia ye ni say sir during the campaign period no unu say will be a friend of political parties code of conduct.
Okay.
Omo share omo share IPAC na share ma omo. At the last one on what the update year 2012. Into no sap party code of conduct they make sure say ye use say during campaign period no obia nkotiti obia poster wo yenye chrome ha no obia nkotiti obia poster.
Okay.
Ye be say into your creative platform sa send be ba no ye be kan wo so that enko dane to kwa outside into no sa groups no you are reactivating war all across the country and in the region into no all the political parties are there, so that is a way of ensuring that there is peace before, during and after the election.
Is this a committee IPDC no is it a committee that is in the various constituencies and answer per region?
Various constituencies. Every constituency will back.
Okay.
Into reactivating, especially during election years. Say I'm a political parties. Normally, chairman and the secretary are members
in the constituency.
In the constituency, all registered political parties within the constituency are there. And then traditional authority, they will send a representative. Faith-based organizations, Muslims, Christians, any sometimes traditional authority. Yet will be or joining. CSOs. Then opinion leaders obia onye political party need be about or you be a
influential person in the society
or influential person you bet me a friend be or headmaster of school be obia bono you on super shame because I had inside the IPDC no so assembly here you beka e wo ha e wo dem into no omusu ombe ti efuturo ama omo a eme odium chi say mamu koyese because yekoto aba enye tokwa na ekoko. We want ballots, not bullets or cutlasses. Into omudi omu bekasa. Into the inside on it is a early warning system ya form our political parties no nyina wo e Ghana. Apart from that no so no we do any two formal we be say omu ye violence no young guys.
Okay.
Obi say me untimi be frame say me koyese ade na medu echi because medwe me mba ho because say na obi ko woman ni baako a
my business ahwe
me da ahwe into most no the youth omu yes ade no into no ye were first time voters ye engage in schools and out of schools, especially in deprived communities. Mostly no so excuse me to say the political parties who want to use violence, they go to deprived communities. Omo who say omo nim hwe na omo ni skasa na de ska adada omo ye ni omo kasa say hwe electoral violence who di hu shema enko enfa ko si baby a e wo say who say elections no a year about ideas
okay.
Issues into no obi ba say kotum ko jiska ne ko kuntokwa men jiska no obi ba ka say jiska no but jiska no a wa ton hu you don't have the moral right to now challenge the person when he's doing wrong because wa moska na ska saying na obeti be ma obe solve problem nyina and or we need we are on fail because nobody campaigns after election. Well, we need election anyway. Intino on the but this one call ade anka wo pese oyema wo community no onye. Intino your advice you say they shouldn't accept money. They shouldn't be cajoled into carrying out electoral violence in their communities. So these two ways no and I say be making sure say there will be no violence during the election.
Okay, all right. So, but even though you make the point, you say you are not going to mention hotspots because you believe that when you mention as a tag and they want to live up to that tag, but I'm sure, sir, your kind of messaging is targeted and as a constituency specific, or it is a generic one. Constituency be the same message, and I said there are some you have targeted people, targeted message.
Your generic message for everybody.
Okay.
Elections are about ideas. It's not about fight. It's not a fight. We are all going to leader. That is generic. But when say constituencies be more specific issues. Maybe the ethnic balance now. The violence be bad. Maybe really religious balance no, and now the demographics so we will tailor the message based on every constituency. Once the constituency be more main problem here say titi amount for posters. Obi musu wo ho a just say one mounty podium say obekasa, especially in strongholds. We a weak party was a stronghold. No person okasa pe when say am for people say yeah man kwan say obekasa. But ebema one who ho say look, the fact say umpe asema wakam or kwan say obeka. Because the constitution allows freedom of speech and freedom of association. Constitution and say we free aha and we say we join a party way. In fact, your constitution can say political party, you know, and will say
you should have a national appeal.
A national appeal and a national character. Intino, won't make us say, oh yeah, had ye party way na so mutinu, uni kwan say oba be kasa wa. So I didn't let into kwabati ye mouse musa message of tolerance, message of understanding that look, party democracy is about exchange of ideas, and so election time, listen to the ideas and go and vote for your party that you want to win. That is how we go about it.
All right. Now let's come to activities and programs as we inch closer to the elections on Sumodia Guakwemu, particularly in the Greater Accra region, because that is your area of our show. Greater Accra had no more. Yeah, coalitions no. In share new programs when our NCC Mudia go on Amoye.
Thank you very much. In the CCNO, going into the election, Makacho say reactivating inter-party dialogue committees across all the constituencies in Accra, and they are active now. Omwa create WhatsApp platform, to make consensus. Even some problems have happened in some areas in Accra. Omwa solve that.
Do they meet in person or?
Yeah, they meet in person. They meet in person. So the inaugural meeting, they meet in person. Okay. And then because it is geared towards having peaceful elections, we reactivate it every 4 years. So normally during the election years, they may be dormant. Inaugural meeting, they will select new executives. The chairman, it will not come from any political party, either a religious leader or CSO leader or a traditional leader will be the chairman. NCC is usually the secretary. The other political parties, they share ideas. After that, sometimes we move to bases like youth parliaments as one. Until who say MPP ni NDC ni any traditional authority in the the youth no kasa say we don't want violence. Let us rely on how do you call it? Let us rely on issues rather than violence. It's more effective than say even NCC
when they see their own people,
their own leaders,
speaking to them
on the issue, and their own leaders no almost signing communique say signing communique say election we making sure say peaceful. You have a moral duty and a social duty to go and talk to your followers that look, this year let it be about issues, no violence, because election is a peaceful mechanism for decision making. Why should it become violent? So so that's one of the ways.
So that is one IPDC. No?
IPDC.
Okay. So what other activities? As
I said, engagement with young people in school. It's a friend in school activities. Over the past couple of months now, core schools be one cry. I think on August 12th, Civic Fest, Nat Hall. 10 schools from Greater Accra, Ebaye, Laboni, Achimota, Presec. In fact, schools armed forces, Omuye, Oyechere Bebre, Ebumu poetry recitals, Ebumu drama, Ebumu su beye music, all about having peaceful elections. Almost kasa free the fact that misinformation, disinformation is not good, just to tell their own people, because we believe people learn through various ways. Some learn through visuals, some learn through audio, and some can be kinesthetic. Until you go into the schools, and then out of schools also into your town halls. As I'm speaking to you, Chinakra, your town hall bakuba yebe wa Shaiman, yebe town hall near Shaimana. You have young people. About misinformation, disinformation, and the importance of not playing part in it. Don't fall into the trap to spread misinformation and then religious intolerance. So you call about some communities in Accra. You call Medina, you call Nima, you call Ashedu Keteke, Dio. I heard you make us say me bo hospitals. Because these areas there the workers say, oh, say a program. So to be warned is to be forearmed.
All right. In the past, we know, sir, do elections, say, NCC are more organizing debate.
Yes.
Are we likely to see same this year?
Oh, yes. So we are going to have parliamentary candidates debates.
Okay.
And also presidential debates. Maybe. I don't know much about that. So let me talk about
that's national.
That's
okay,
national.
so let's focus on the region. Yeah.
So the parliamentary candidates debates, no. I'm friend of debate.
Okay.
Yeah, friend of dialogue. It's a parliamentary candidates dialogue. Okay. Because you just say you bon komo say you mind no papa. Into your friend dialogue.
Okay.
Into no. First of all, you will report to be research be a every 4 years since 2004 na start here. Your friend no matters of concern to the Ghanaian voter. The hono you be sa Ghana for say nyoma ben mu na mu say ehia man e wo Ghana ha. O man who say o man no abeba no onye man. Most of the time, you know, the issues have always been around education, employment, and health.
Okay.
Education, sometimes to education be the first, and then employment be the first. Into this year, no, I feel na year research in the UA.
Okay.
Report no omucho, akaka cry report no beba. Into report no bar, based on that report no, and no year dialogue no. Into the dialogues, getting to the end of October, November, na year dialogue no into December. Into at the dialogue place no, and young kwan baby so more same. Normally, your mark when say citizens no baby sasem. But your mark when say citizens baby sasem no. Your veti asem or baby sasem na your mama. Into your dex beer we asem no be call. Na ya hwese asem we baby sano. Ya asem a edi papa beba. Ana edi tokwa beba the baby sasem.
And we be say censorship ana say
yeah censorship for the right reason. Because you am free political party parliamentary candidates they will be embarrassed embarrassment.
But yes, I understand it from that angle. But yes. Said, if you are seeking to lead the people, then you should be able to stand any question that comes from the people.
Well, but yes, you will. I can say you be making sure say you do you the right thing. When you say Ghana, you have free speech.
Yeah.
But you can't say everything. It is bounded. So it's bounded free speech everywhere. Just like I say, malinformation.
So the question is, in the midst of all that, if you are able to censor the questions, the question is it effective? Are you able to get the result that you look for?
Oh, yes. It's very interactive. It's very fast. Mekai one time, that certain Kamnami or Borga, it was Zwarungu. Specifically, I think that was 2016 election.
Okay.
Na MP no, was you want to be mba. Na certain or Deputy Attorney General.
Okay.
Or Ghana, I think that was
Dominic Ayini.
Exactly, the constituency.
Okay.
Bolga, Upper East, and
Bolga East.
Bolga East, yes, was Warungu. So on what be but interesting, you know, on my ni secretary, on party secretary, no, Okitafo, was here. Into your beside assembly. Now we answer from Accra. That's that time Zoom crap on
on phone.
It's also interesting. And your friend is a CPP candidate no so say another independent guy view was. That's how year no MPP say omo nye into no omo anye omo amba sa particular one although omo ye other places but I had here many omo kasa is they didn't participate. It was so interesting because among for beside same we can say you know at the end no obia nije.
Okay.
So it is a very impressive.
All right. So you are saying, sir, hopefully October end, in November, we will have this dialogue.
Yes.
Okay. But the question is, looking at the constituencies in Accra, every
constituency.
Simultaneously or?
Not simultaneously.
Are you able to cover all the constituencies in the Greater Accra region?
Every district director must organize one.
Okay.
Yes. Every district director must organize one. So that is it.
All right. Persons living with disabilities because everybody say people tend to overlook them, how crucial they are, and how we should help them in also exercising their franchise.
Yeah.
Also specifically then to my
we cry for peace. Lord, we cry for love in this neighborhood. cry for peace. Perfect peace. Lord, we cry for love in this neighborhood. I'll tell you, no water can put out this fire. Everyone is begging, Lord can save us. We cry for peace in South Africa. We cry for peace. Perfect peace. Lord, we cry for love in this neighborhood. I'll tell you, no water can put out this fire. Everyone is begging, Lord For peace, we cry for peace, perfect peace. Lord, we cry for love in this neighborhood. I'll tell you, no water can put out this fire. Everyone is ready. We cry for peace in South Africa. We cry for we cry for peace, perfect peace. Lord, we cry for love in this neighborhood. I'll tell you, no water can put out this fire. South Africa, we cry for peace, perfect peace. Lord, we cry for love in this neighborhood. Let me tell you, no water can put out this fire. Only love can save. We cry for peace. Let me tell you, we cry for peace. South Africa.
On Galamsey and I say even small scale mining for some time, no. I don't know, is that a caller NTC you associate with?
No, that one is TUC, is organized labor that is asking for that.
Yeah.
And organized labor includes all workers, including you. So we are all asking for it.
Okay.
So yes, NCC specifically, yeah, can say banning mining. Of course, yeah, mining mining completely, because mining is a major source of income for the country. But that is the responsible mining. Yeah, one correct. You say mining, underground.
Yeah.
Later on, then I say, "Bet me surface mining." Any idea same way, Abba.
So it means you said we should go back to how it used to be,
maybe,
and underground and stop the surface mining.
And stop the surface mining, but there's a way of doing surface mining responsibly. Document no. Okay. A tracer responsible mining, but the point is that it is easier to do the illegal one than to do that one. Until when say as Nipa, be Elis Kababa and Temtem, the fast no.
Are we placing economic value over our lives and as our survivor?
I think that's what we are doing. Some of us are placing economic value over the value we have for our own life. Yes. Otherwise, you see. Because
if you the economy will crash because of that, and we should allow it. So they don't even want to hear the word they said. We should even find a lasting solution to it.
who say in some yekano, you have two phrases, and there's a whole confusion in what exactly we are asking for.
Okay.
As I said, you have to make us say you banil mining or Ghana. No, you been just going. Starting mining long time in Ghana, but it is the way we are going about it. We can't talk about a blanket ban on all mining, but a ban on the irresponsible mining and the surface mining, into irresponsible mining. Now I'll shift away from there and then talk about the demonstrations. So
issues of their rights have also popped up.
Good. Now every Ghanaian, I think Article 21 something, I can't remember clearly, talks about the right to demonstrate and to assemble. Okay, who was our right now? But as Ghanaians, you who say your rights end where other people's rights begin.
Okay.
And Ghana Mrano Che say, Upesa oye tra. I was say, Uji a requirement, say Uji permission free, and your permission, say u catch for police for 5 days in advance. Say me pese me ye oye tra we. Oye tra na u kokoye no, oni u bet nasi, say oh, debe na upesa oye, pese me nanti free ha, eni ha, edi ko ha. Obedwe ho sada no, okay, yan juma no eti sen, ye be nya manfo a ombe protect you. Na police no, omejuma ni say ombe protect protesters no. Any
protesters. Okay.
Mind you, it's a voluntary activity. And yet, I say, ye demonstration. No. Mind you also say, demonstration no wo ye no, asema wo kan no, etia obi.
Okay.
Ono so betimi aka say, ono so baba ye o ye kire. Nti no, wo ka che police no a, e bia obi so aba say obeba ye counter, bi so obeka okay. Wo a opese ye counter no, e bia wo koteba ne koye wo die no. Wo a wo be ye, wo pese wo ye the other one no, wo be ye wo ablekuma.
Ablekuma, okay.
Ana who ye no Tuesday, usu be ye wo die Wednesday. Say umpini a obetimi akọ court. Judge no be hwe say ni. Na one say okay, asema police for no kan no eyampa ntimi ma okwan. Ana asema police for no kan no famra kwan so. Nti mukoye oye kire no. But oye kire is a right for every Ghanaian, but it is within some bounded guidelines.
Okay.
Untimi nye no a ebe kwa ko say obi ejuma. Obi wa address or call ejuma. Now for soon is on be your agent. You are infringing on his rights. And now what block coin? Say ma obi investing and call ejuma. We are stepping on his rights. But everybody has the right to do what he wants to do.
Okay.
Yes.
But ebi nso aka say o hwe omomye demonstration and we all agree say there were excesses. But even in the midst of all the excesses, you know, Yediomo Kwako to me and I say Yediomo call remand for 2 weeks. Even though today we understand even why about 9 of them they've been granted bail and all that.
Yes.
But their right as citizens to protest has also been in contention here. Say they have the right, but they went overboard. There were excesses. But I said we are using what was the word? We are using a bulldozer to either kill a fly or something like that. I'm sure you've heard that saying before.
Yeah.
In the midst of all that, what is the issue? Am I right? Are we trampling on their right?
You see, there's a thin line between maintaining security and people exercising their rights. So for the judge, Obesha say security, no, any right, no, the way na emudu.
Okay.
Mind you, state, the first duty is provision of security for human life and for property. That's the first duty. And sana, any other duty that can is protection of life and property. Intinu bibia edi danger, but to other citizens and properties, then the state must act. Okay, but I like the way you put it. That should we use a sledgehammer or a bulldozer to kill a housefly? No, because our thing. Or demonstration. What is their beef? Their issue is that the environment is being destroyed. So they want attention on that. But who pay attention on that? Then I go block it and say, "Ma obey the foul."
Okay.
Me person demonstration. Me person ebia. Ni free fie kwa na aduanu ni fie nti me kwa koye me 2x4 I describe ya kofi akoma me kwa I don't know blocking me men blocking me but okay ye nim say nti wa blocking me ya bie mu ya chill okay uso ade awo ye no enye say opese o say Ghana obesega Ghana yi. So there should be some discretion over there. Me lawyer and me say but me say definitely no, their rights will be protected.
All right. Finally, Anthony Ebekono, I'm sure say you have an advice to Ghanaians as we go into the elections. Futube na wodema Ghana for NCC, mo catch Ghana for particularly omo nkran hanom.
Great. Thank you very much. Intino Ghana no ya election way for 30 years. Democracy way agina so ye penu sa say ye be ko anim ye be ni yie Ghana be dane oman ye nyina be ye ni beje ho already no wo we ase nyina ni Africa no be appoint say o Ghana omo ya de yie man ko fa enimguase bia embre ye ho say election wey ye koye na akodane asemfufo ya ye no pre 8 times.
Yeah, 8 times.
So the 9th one shouldn't be a problem. But then, having said that, I know that elections can be emotive. Amount for emotions need to be called high because of the fact say implementing policy. But we should also know that say na omani say why na obabediniso obianeho. So let's go into the election with a peace mentality, with a mentality that if there's any violence, if there's any conflict, we'll use peaceful means to resolve it. There shouldn't be any violence. Even if there's violence, we should break it down quickly. So, any amount for kasa, any youth no kasa, any political parties no kasa, any all stakeholders. Into new media also, I will say that you should watch how you inform the people, the kind of information that you give, especially having in mind the issue of malinformation. That even if it is true, it is not every information that must be put out there. Yeah. So
all right.
That's what I was saying.
And also let me also add fact checking.
Yes.
Fact checking.
Yeah, fact checking.
All right. Thank you very much. Say Newe Obekan yensa ewa hard no more Mawuli Agbenu ono Greater Accra Regional Director Emma National Commission for Civic Education and the Enkomo area on the agenda. My name is Barnard Love. Ebesan Eshie Biom Nyame Adoma on Wednesday on the agenda.
Radio Icon!
Yes, a radio Casafidia Kasium, and what think 104.7 FM so.
Season 1 at the job opportunities, personality, prizes, contract, and after popularity, and my phobia.
This is your time. This is your opportunity. At